Hey guys, congratulations once again for joining MT No Business Complex. Uh, Today too, we are here once again to talk about snail farming. Yeah. So, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, congratulations for joining our beautiful channel once again. Yeah. Let me do one thing quickly. Okay. I just want to try to see myself on the screen. That's all. Oh my God. All right. Oh my God. So, like I was saying, welcome once again to MT No Business Complex. If today is your first time of joining us on this channel, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and then share with your friends because this channel is always packed with a lot of information that you need to know. We normally talk about farming, but our main focus this time around is snail farming. Snail farming. I wrote an article and I posted it on one of the platforms on social media, and I said, if anybody wants to travel, if you're a young guy in Africa and you want to travel abroad, just take your time, wait for some few months, go into snail farming, and then compare what you are going to gain and what your friends in abroad are gaining. And this sparked a lot of controversies. Some of my African brothers started giving me a message and they were like, do you know what you are talking about? We want to go to abroad to enjoy life. And you say we should go into snail farming. I said, you don't know what happens. Only few people go to abroad and are happy. Many others go to abroad, they are never happy. You know why? Because the working condition, the weather itself, and a lot of things. So if you're a young guy and you want to go to abroad, me, Jackson, or Martin, I will advise you, go into snail farming for a period of time and then see if you truly want to go to abroad. It's good to travel abroad, yeah, because we gain a lot of sense, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom when we travel abroad. For that one, it's a must. Nobody can defeat that. You gain a lot of wisdom, but equally, you can equally stay back home and get a lot of wisdom. You can also make a lot of money as you are back home. Yes. So we are going to talk about a lot of things today because I have been having a series of questions. Many questions have been popping up on my screen, and I need to explain a lot of things to people. Somebody will ask me, so do you think there are markets for snails? Somebody will ask me, so are you sure that snails are profitable as you keep preaching every day? Somebody will ask me, so do you think that if I go into snail farming, it's going to be possible? Somebody will ask me, how much do I need to start a snail farm? Somebody will ask me, how long do snails take to mature? A whole lot of questions. So my time is limited. I'm just going to spend like 20 minutes to 25 minutes just to explain to people. And in Africa too, we have attached religion to ourselves to the extent that our brains have been choked. Yeah. So many people begin to condemn you when you want to speak about why we are not progressing. I read an article when somebody said a poor man who has Jesus Christ is better or richer than a rich man who doesn't have Jesus Christ. So when I read the article, I was like, what exactly is this person trying to say? Does Jesus Christ give money and food to poor people physically? We know God is the creator, and he has made everything available for you and I so that we can enjoy. Yeah. But it is always available to the man who applies the wisdom God has given him. So imagine God has given you wisdom to make money, and you are here proclaiming that if you don't have money, if you are broke, but you have Jesus Christ, life is better for you, then fine. Allow those of us who believe in Jesus Christ, who still want money, allow us to look for money. Yeah. I will greet few people, few friends that I can remember. Gianna Chachus Das, my boss, I salute you. If you don't know Gianna Chachus Das, he is a spiritual coach, a life coach. He explains life to people. He has a channel on YouTube called The Transformation Era. And on Facebook too, when you search Gianna Chachus Das, you're going to get him. He's also on Facebook, Transformation. So he has branches all over the world. He teaches about life, the principles of life. So if you don't know him, or if you've never heard of him before, you can take this opportunity and look for him. Gianna Chachus Das. Brother Mike, Dubai, I greet you. Brother Frank, Dubai, I greet you. Brother Sammy Tuga, official Kofi King TV. He's in Oman. I greet you. Mr. Ozzy, USA, I greet you. Sister Sandra, Canada, I greet you. I greet a couple of everybody who is listening to me, or everybody who will be watching this video, wherever you are, I send my greetings to you. Greetings to my beautiful daughter, the troublesome one. Every day he will start complaining, I want to go to my dad. It's part of life. All right. So, snail farming is all about keeping snails, whether in a box, a trench, a wooden structure, a greenhouse, or anything. Giving them food, supplying them with the necessary conditions that will make them survive, reproducing for you, selling them, and making money. That's all about snail farming. There is nothing so serious about snail farming. It's all about keeping snails, taking good care of them, giving them shelter, giving them protection, providing them with food, water, anything they need so they can survive, feel accommodated, and then produce for you so that you can sell and make money. Please, if you're on the channel, just try to check the sound for me. Check the sound for me. Yeah. Check the sound for me if you are on the channel. Yes. So many people are confused about snail farming. We are live now. Many people are confused. Many people are confused. Many people are confused about snail farming. So today, I will try my best to open and widen your understanding about snail farming. Yeah, wherever you are. Wherever you are. Wherever you are. Yes. So, the first question I'm going to talk about is, do snail have markets in Africa? Now, when you take the West African sub-region, let's say, counting from my left, I will say from Nigeria to Benin to Togo to Ghana to Ivory Coast to Liberia, Guinea. Is it Guinea? Yeah, I think so. Sierra Leone, Senegal. These countries are much into snails. And then going to some part of the Central African region too, we have some countries like Cameroon. Cameroon is a big country. We all love snails. All right? And snail meat, many people are shifting from snail meat to, red meat to snail meat these days. So, in the olden days, our grandparents go to the farm to bring snails. But because the population of the earth is growing, many people are coming up with strategies just to fight for the world food security, because there isn't enough of food to eat these days. Africa has all the lands, but we still import tons and quantity and amount of foods to Africa. So we are trying to go into this research and try to raise snails. There are many videos on YouTube. People are trying their best, which is really good. We are also trying our best. Sorry. We are also trying our best to raise snails and then to train people on how to make a living out to snails. Yeah. Many a times, what I know is that, I posted my video on one of the groups and one of the ladies said I should delete it. Oh, okay. Yeah. I posted the link and then she said I should delete it off the group. Oh, Sister Debbie, I'm sorry, okay? Sorry, I never meant to disrupt your plans. Sorry. So, I shared a link to one of my groups and she came to tell me to delete it out of her group. It's okay. It's okay. I'm only trying to open the understanding of people on businesses. I never meant to disrupt people's plans and businesses. It's okay. Me pacho me delete why? Me that's it. So it is okay. It is part of life. It's part of life. So let me go quickly to the first question. Snails have market. Snails have market. Many people who are into snail farming, they make a lot of money because we import snails all the time. 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 Yeah. So if you go into snail farming, I assure you that you are going to make so much money. If you go into snail farming, I assure you, you are going to make so much money if you go into snail farming. Yes. All right. The next question that I would love to talk about is Mr. Ozzy in the United States asked me recently that how long do snails take to grow to get a table size? I was making a calculation. I was saying that if you have, let's say, 300 pieces of snails, and then out of the 300 pieces, 150 lays egg for you. Out of the eggs that were laid, out of the 150 pieces that laid the eggs, each snail laid 100 eggs for you. Each snail laid 100 eggs for you. Okay. Out of the 100 eggs that were laid, only 80% survived from hatchery to growing. So let's say out of the 100, you got only 80. Then we multiply the 80 pieces of snails by the 150 snails that we got them from. So that's the brood stock. So let's say 150 by 80. You are going to get 12,000 snails. 12,000 snails. These 12,000 snails, I decided to sell them according to my price because somebody would love to sell them maybe 10 cedis per each. Today on my platform, somebody sent me a message. One snail is 10 Ghana cedis. One snail is 10 Ghana cedis. Wallahi. This is amazing. So 10 Ghana cedis. 10 Ghana cedis. I'm not gonna sell it 10 Ghana cedis. I will be selling one snail for 2 Ghana cedis. Okay. So 12,000 pieces of snails times 2 cedis is 24,000 Ghana cedis. That is the old currency, 240 million. So I have 300 pieces of snails, only 150, not all the 300, only 150 laid for me. out of the 150 laying, I was able to raise only 12,000 snails. And by selling each for 2 cedis, I am making 24,000 Ghana cedis. So imagine I have times 5 of this in my farm. Imagine I have times 5 of this in my farm. That means I'm a commercial farmer. Maybe I have a big land and I have decided to expand and make it big. So 24,000 Ghana cedis times 5. That is 120,000 Ghana cedis. Old currency is 1.2 billion. Now, Mr. Ozzy was asking me, how long will it take the snails to grow? Somebody will ask me, why didn't you use 5 cedi or 7 cedi instead of 2 cedis? The reason is that the growth rate of snails is very slow. Every snail grows at 10 millimeters per month. Every snail grows at 10 millimeters per month. And today there was a discussion on my WhatsApp group. Somebody was asking, what is the difference between a point of lay and a table-sized snail? What is the difference between a point of lay and a table-sized snail? So we all tried to discuss. I gave my view. Another person also gave her view. I think one lady. Yeah. So at the long run, one man came to say that every snail is a snail. No matter what the size, no matter what it is, whether it's a point of lay or whether it is a table size, a snail is a snail. So the price is what we are talking about. So I want to explain this. Point of lay is when the snail begins to lay. And table size is when the snail is mature enough to be eaten. That is my point. So if it is at point of lay, it means it is already at table size. Now, snails begin to get to point of table size between 6 months to 9 months. At this time, most snails also start laying. So there isn't any serious difference. But to get a bigger size, your snail will have to be like 1 year to 1.5 years before you can get a bigger size. That is what we call the jumbo. So people start eating snails from 6 months and upwards. Okay? So we know there are a lot of different types of snails. We have the water snail. We have the blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we have a lot of snails. The water snails. Many types of snails. Yeah. So all these ones come by different sizes. So some snails are just like this. If you go to Europe, the kind of snails they rear and sell, especially in Spain, Italy, and France, you could see that the size is like this. That is a specific species. All right? When you come to Africa, we have our own type with different sizes. That's when we have the Achatina marginata, Achatina, and then Achatina follica. The follica doesn't have much sizes, and it grows very fast. I can say it is the fastest growing snails I have ever witnessed or seen. So my answer simply to the question that how long do snails take to grow? From 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, snails can be eaten, depending the person who wants to buy it. There are some people, even when the snail is too big, they don't like it. And there are some people, they want the bigger sizes. So it depends on the locality, the vicinity, and the target market. Currently, what I've noticed is that most people who are into snail farming are just rearing the snails to sell to people who wants to come into the farm again. because we haven't been able to produce enough to feed ourselves. So the little that we are able to raise, the only thing we are able to do is to resell it to other snail farmers. You get my point? That is how it is. So it doesn't matter how long it's gonna take. But me, when I'm doing my calculation as a snail farmer, the best thing I do is I use 1.5 years for my calculations. So that no matter what happens, by 1.5 years, I'm going to get a reasonable size for my market. So my brother, Mr. Ozzy in United States, this is my view. Yes. And we all know that there are businesses that you can do quick and make money. And there are businesses that take a little bit of time, but the returns that comes with it is enormous, very huge. Yeah. So from 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, you can start selling your snails. As far as you follow the due process, giving them the needed, the food they need, blah, 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 blah. Yes, because the more you give them calcium food, yes, they grow by shells. And we know we normally measure them by the shell size. So if you give them enough calcium, they grow faster for you. Okay. My next question that I have here is that I'm even shocked. I just posted a link and this has resulted in a trouble. I posted a link on a WhatsApp group and somebody wants to eat me up. It's normal. It's part of life. All right. Yeah, I know. A time will come, some people will come around and then same people will start coming to ask questions. How should I do it? We will get there little by little. Sometimes when you smile too much, people think you are weak. Oh my God. All right. So somebody was also asking, how much do I need to start a snail farm? This is a question that blows your mind because it's a huge question. I have made a full video on it. I thought I would be posting it today, but I couldn't post it. Maybe tomorrow I will post it. I have taken each of the pens because we all know that snail farming all comes by the pen. If you have the land, it's all about the pen. All right? If you have the land, it's all about the pen. The pen. So if you're able to raise up your pen, automatically you are good to go. Now, constructing the pen has become the challenge for most of we the youth because I am out of college. I am broke already. How do I go for a greenhouse which will cost like 50,000? Yes, 50,000, 20,000, 30,000. All right? How do I do that? How do I do that? So, there are mechanisms or ideas that we've come up with. Tomorrow when I post that video, you will get full understanding. But anybody who asks me, how much do I need to start a snail farm? If I tell you you need 20,000 Ghana cedi to start a snail farm, and you don't even have a job, how are you? I would discourage you. I'm going to discourage you automatically. So I normally don't talk about it. But to give you a rough view and estimate from 1,000 Ghana cedis upwards, you can start a snail farm depending on the size you want to start with. So sometimes when you ask me, how much can I start with? I won't be able to give you an answer. It doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. The more you know that you don't know. So sometimes I know that I don't even know what is ahead. So imagine I tell you you need 30,000 to go and start a snail farm, and you have 1 million Ghana cedi to start a snail farm. I have deceived you. I've limited you. Maybe you could have made it bigger and make so much money. All right? So, you want to buy Toyota Corolla. Somebody wants to buy a Jeep. You guys have different tastes. You want to be making 100,000 Ghana cedis every 6 months, and somebody wants to make 2 million Ghana cedis every 6 months. You are not equal. So the capacity or the capital you are going to use to start and the capacity, there are differences. It's all about you focusing, starting well, and then you are good to go. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Okay, somebody asked me a simple question. How much will it cost me to do a wooden pen? The wooden pen ranges. We have 400 Ghana cedis, 600 Ghana cedis, 800 Ghana cedis, each per the size. And somebody was also asking me, what are the sizes that he can, let me see, yes. He said, what are the sizes that they can keep, the number of snails they can keep in each pen. So that one, I made a small analysis on it. I want to read it out so that we can talk about it. This is what I wrote. Normally, I recommend 6 feet by 4 feet for 100 snails. Normally, I recommend 6 feet by 4 feet. So 6 feet in length, 4 feet wide, like this. So 4 feet wide by 6 feet. All right? For 100 snails. But let's read this. Density affects the growth of breeding capacity of snails. High density population tend to grow slowly, develop into smaller adults, and lay fewer clutches of eggs and fewer eggs per clutch. If the snails are very densely packed, they may not breed at all. So the higher the density, that is the higher the number of snails in a pen, reduces their growth rate, their sizes rate, their laying ability. Sometimes they might not be bred at all. They will not be able to even produce. You'll be giving them food, they will be eating, and they will be there. Because you know what? Their slimes, the slime is very powerful. It has a certain chemical. I have forgotten the name. It breaks things. It deteriorates things. So when they are moving around on each other and the slime is moving around on them like that, it slows their growth rate. Okay, let me continue. The accumulation slime, okay, that's it. The accumulation slime suppresses reproduction. Yes. Other disadvantages of high density are the high rate of parasitism and ease of transmission of diseases. So, in case there is a parasite, there is a bacteria, there is a pathogen, that is a disease-carrying organism, or fungus, or fungi, or a virus, there hasn't been a detected snail disease, but anything can happen. Every living creature, one or the other way, may have a bacteria which will affect its health. So when they are densely packed, when they are fully packed in large quantities, this is what happens to them. All right? Easy transmission of diseases. As we know, even when COVID came, social distancing. So snails, snails also need social distancing. Okay, thank you on that. In terms of snail weights, the recommended density is 1 to 1.5 kg per meter square. For Achatina, this will be about 15 to 25 snails per square meter. It is best to start a snail farm with a low density as possible. So in every pen, it's always advisable to keep fewer snails. It gives them room for improvement. Okay, yeah, I think so. All right. As the farmer becomes more familiar with snail habit with managing the enterprise, the numbers could be increased. So when you become more familiar, you can increase the number of density per pen. All right. As in any livestock farming operation, and good management practices are the key to success. Some people will leave leftover food in the pen for many weeks, and these leftover food will rot and produce some organisms. These organisms will attack your snails. After every 2 or 3 days, you need to take off any leftover food from the pen. Someone called me, he started with 10,000 snails, and for a whole of 1 year, they never gave water to the snails. Snails are like humans. They eat, they drink, they sleep, they even play. I even know some snails will sing. They will even dance. So, you have to follow the management practices. The right food quantity and quality, the right water. Yeah. So, what I can say is this. If you practice, you know, even when we were in JSS, we learned something called cultural practices. When it comes to farming, when you are farming, there are some cultural practices you need to follow. Same applies to livestock farming. How can you be rearing an animal for 1 year without giving it water? The person said he didn't know. You know why? Because he didn't get any training. He heard that snail farming is lucrative. I think she was a woman. Yeah, she's a woman. Since snail farming is lucrative, the only thing was build up the pen, buy the snails, keep them there, find somebody to sit there and take care of the snails for me. At the end of the month, I pay the person. The person who was also there has a zero knowledge. The owner has a zero knowledge. So the snails were there. They never knew snails drink water. Let me end this show today. Most research on African gulls has been carried out in West Africa. Seasonal activities, as described below, follow the march of the seasons of West Africa, with the breeding egg laying in March through July. So most snails lay from June through July, March through July. Yes, because in West Africa, the rainy season begins from March. So anytime you want to start your snail farm, this is the best season for you to start. The best season, March, April, May, June, July, and then somewhere in September, October. March, April, May, June, July. There is enough water and the weather is calm, cool, yeah, not cold. Because snails don't like cold environment, but they like cool environment. So that's the best season. If you want to see results, they are active during this season because of the weather. All right? And they can lay. So if you don't feed your snails well, when you get to this point, even when you give them food, they won't eat. But when you feed them up till March, they have enough egg shells produced already in their system. So any little feed you give them, they will start laying in large quantity for you. Okay. All right. Note that domestic snails may continue laying during the dry season as well as the wet season. Okay. So, you see, when you are rearing snails, when snails are in their normal places, when it gets to the dry season, I think one of my videos, my practical training, yeah, I explained that they go to estivation or they hibernate. But when they are with you as domestic, as you are rearing them, because they have enough water sprinkled on them most of the time, any season, any time they can lay. That's why they are able to lay 3 times in a year. Okay, all right. Snails breeders in other parts of the sub-humid tropic should adapt the management cycle to local conditions. In semi-intensive or intensive snail farming, farmers keep and care for hatchlings, growers, and breeding snails in separate hatch box or pens and hatchlings. So, for me, for instance, we have where the breeders are. After they lay, we transfer the egg from that pen to another pen called the hatch box. After they are hatched, we transfer them from that box to another pen called the grower box. Some people prefer to keep the mother snail in one pen. It lays there, it hatches there, and then they grow there. But there are disadvantages sometimes. Looking at the sizes, especially when it comes to Achatina, the size of the baby snail become very small. So by the time you even see that there is a snail there, you would have stamped on it when it is in the free range. So you have to make sure you plan well during when it is in the free range. And then there is something we call cannibalism, when an animal eats its own species. Snails are fond of doing that because of the calcium. So when the baby snail is hatched, the bigger snail can eat them up. And because their shells are also very small, they can even just pass over them, and then they will break the shells of the younger snails and they will die within a couple of minutes. All right. Hatchlings require more humid conditions than adult snails. They should be fed with tender leaves such as pawpaw or cocoyam and calcium supplement for good shell development. The soil in their pen should be kept moist and enough water should be provided. The pen should be fitted with small gauze wire mesh or nylon mesh. Otherwise, the small snails will escape. Yeah, because they are very small. They are very tiny. So when there is any hole, they will just push out. Hatchlings and juveniles may be kept at a density of around 100 square meter. Growers should be transferred to separate pens at around 3 months of age at a stocking density of 30 to 40 snails per square meter for fast growth. They might be given compound feed rich in crude protein, calcium, phosphorus, besides their normal diet. Breeders start to lay eggs at sexual maturity at the age of 10 to 12 months. At the age of 10 to 12 months. So, Mr. Ozzy, this answer comes to you again. At 10 to 12 months, the snails are capable and fully matured for laying. And at that time, they are already table size. You can sell them. So that exactly, if it is 12 months, that's exactly 1 year. If it is 10 months, that means few months to a year. They are matured enough to be sold, and they can also breed or start laying if they are properly cared for. So, Mr. Ozzy, I think today I've answered a lot of your questions. I know you will be giving me a message. I hope you are fine. I love you so much because I love it when you give me a message. All right. Okay. Let me see. All right. The general stocking density guidelines for 1 to 1.5 kg per snail should always be kept in mind. Soil should be loosened to facilitate egg laying. Most snails dig a hole. That's why I'll always recommend loamy soil and black soil. We know that black soil is a form of loamy soil already. Everybody knows that. But because we have given a differentiation, because it is purely black, that's why we call it black soil. But loamy soil is the right soil which has all the proportion of nutrient for the growth of both plant and animals. And it is easy to dig, easy to fetch, or any other thing. Yeah. It has the ability to retain. I've explained that already, so no need. So snails dig and lay and then cover. So if a snail wants to dig and the soil is hard, it won't be able to dig. All right. Okay. The breeders ration, okay, that is their feed. The breeders ration must be rich in crude protein and calcium. Any eggs found on the surface must be buried promptly to a depth of 1 to 2 centimeters before hatching. The soil on the top of the clutches must be loosed or removed to facilitate uniform emergence. When the babies begin to hatch, you need to remove the topsoil so that they can come up because they are not really strong. Okay, to avoid cannibalism, the breeders must be removed to their growing pens soon after the hatchlings emerge. So in cases where you allow the babies to hatch in the same box with the breeders, when they start hatching, you need to move the mother snails to a different pen, like I explained earlier. To avoid cannibalism, they will eat themselves. Okay. All right. Adults no longer required for breeding or... okay. I repeat that. Adults no longer required for breeding are kept in fattening pens until they are ready for sale or consumption. So when you think this snail has done enough, you want to sell it, you need to keep it at a different place, fatten it, give it enough food to grow heavy and tougher and thicker, then you sell it. All right. Spacious in accordance with the growing stage of snails, hatchlings, juvenile, breeding snails, or mature snails fattened for consumption. Okay. Snails suffer from overcrowding, which impedes their development and increases the risk of diseases. Suitable rearing densities range from 100 per meter square for hatchlings to 7 to 10 meters square for breeding snails. I have a lot of information here, but I wouldn't want to waste your time talking about their feed, pawpaw leaves, blah, 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 blah. I have a lot of information there, but I'm trying to end my live session for today because I have been here for a couple of minutes. So I think I have done enough. All right. Thank you for joining for today. Maybe I'll be coming your way another time if I have other form of questions. I don't know if I have answered all the questions, but I still have enough in my mind. Somebody was asking me to teach the formulation of feed. That one, I don't teach it for free. I'm sorry, forgive me. But you see, I'm also trying to make a living. I don't know if you understand. Yeah. I have contacted the company. I pray they will grant me something. Then I can do something good. We are looking for donors. So my partners, my friends in the United States, my friends in Canada, my friends in Italy, Spain, Australia, if you know any company that can help us, whether they will donate or whether they will invest with us, whatever they can do, we will be happy. Hallelujah. We will do everything diligently. We are also planning to start our own company maybe next year. We haven't gotten to that yet. But what I'm saying is maybe you know a company which helps farmers or young farmers, startups, loans, grants, anything which is possible. We will be forever grateful. And we will make sure that we do the right thing. We will make sure we surprise the company with the best. Thank you. If you want to ask me anything, my number is +233 5540 52555. +233 5540 52555. You can also call us on +233. It's okay. +233 54. It's okay. I'll pin it on the screen. Yeah. And then we also have an email. The email is makomenim@gmail.com. 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 That is MAKOMANIM makomanim@gmail.com. Little by little, we are growing. Somebody was asking me if we have monetized our channel. We haven't monetized the channel yet, but Google is running ads already on our videos. We don't know why. That's part of their new policy. So, well, little by little, we will get it. Thank you. We still open arm for donors and grantors. If you know any company, tell us. We will write to them. Maybe they will provide us with resources. We can build up, help the youth, give employment, give jobs. We pray by the grace of God's mercy, everything will be fine. Till I come your way another time. This is Empty No Business Complex. My name is Martin Luther. People call me Jack. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends. I love you. Thank you. Shukran. Bye-bye.